Hello, good afternoon on a very foggy and slightly miserly Peak District. It's the Tuesday the 5th of February 2019 and about portable today, M1DDD portable with a lightweight setup because it's a little bit windy and the weather's looking a bit rainy for later, so I thought I wouldn't take too much gear. Anyway, I'm out in my old trusty motorhome. Still going strong, still sorting out, ironing out the odd flaw now and again. And today I've got a 7-element ZL special, about 40 quid's worth. Not much gain, maybe 7 or 8 dB. It's mounted at 22 feet on a mast on the back of the van. A small wind-up mast and a TV type rotator. It's all very simple stuff. We're powered by the ever faithful Honda EU20i generator. And yeah, let's just take a look at the setup that's in here. It's about 5 o'clock or so in the afternoon. We've got a couple of hours before it starts. We've got FM, FT8 or MGM modes, and then we've got some SSB later. So let's just take a look. So here we are inside the Radio Shack. Let's just turn that volume down. What we're running tonight is pretty much what I generally run, actually, my Yaesu FT847, and it's one of the very first ones that was released in this country. I bought it from Martin Lynch in about year 2000. Had a couple of minor repairs done to it, really just a rotary channel knob and the power on and off knob, they simply wore out. On top of that, I've got an MFJ, a very old MFJ 432. Now this is a voice keyer, a contest voice keyer generally. You can use it for recording people. You can use it for recording your voice and then playing it back using the 4 buttons on the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I bought that second hand quite recently. Somebody answered an advert a wanted advert I had, and correctly wired it for Yaesu 847 and tracked me down a power supply. I just have to earth the case of this 847. There's a small earthing lead here that you probably can't see that. Let's put a light on it. There's a small earthing lead, you can just see it there, and that goes to the earthing lug on the back of the radio. Just stops any hum getting into my audio. But that works great, and I used it last night actually on the 80-meter contest, which was very slow going indeed because of the conditions. Sat on top of the voice keyer, just here, is a Signalink USB box. Now this is a sound. Well, it's a data. Let's call it a data interface box. This connects to an in-out port on my radio. Again, it's wired inside the box with some jumper wires and in fact a small resistor and capacitor, because the 847 is a bit of an oddball rig for using with these. It's wired, it's connected to the back of the Yaesu rig with an in-out port, comes into this, and then out of this it comes into a USB socket here. I've actually labelled it Signal Link. I think one of these might be USB 2 and one of them 3. I can't remember which way round. That comes in here, and I run some software on here. Well, for tonight I will use WSJTX, the latest version. We're not running that in contest mode. It's simple locator, 4-digit locator exchanges tonight, and dB signal report, so no contest mode required on that, and I'll fire that up in a bit. Laptop is a simple Lenovo i3, very basic stuff. The rig puts out on 2 meters. It puts out up to about 30-40 watts, something like that. Now I enter the 100-watt category on this UKAC contest. On the SSB part of the contest, I use 100 watts. So what I do is I drive about 5 watts into a TE Systems amplifier. So I heavily underload the amplifier. This is capable of 300 watts, 350 watts actually output. And what I do is I drive it with about 3 or 4 or 5 watts to give me 100 watts out. Power supply is a Palstar 60 amp switch mode power supply. I found it okay so far. I've been using this for a long time, at least 10 years. All portable, often packed in a rucksack, taking it up hills with a generator and so on. SWR meter is a Daiwa CN801. It's a high power 2 kilowatt SWR meter, power SWR meter, just keeps a check on things. I actually brought out a small, I don't need this tonight actually, because I can never remember between all the various antennas that I use. I use 9 element, 10 elements, 7 element antennas and so on. Sometimes I need to slightly, if the SWR is maybe wavering 1.6, 1.7, I sometimes have to just tune that back just to protect the radio and the amplifier, and that's a small MFJ 2 meter, and in fact, yes, 2 meter and 220 megahertz. It's 144 and 220 megahertz. It's an American for American 220. That's a small 8 tuner, and that's not connected up at the moment. That's just sat redundant. I thought I might need it. I couldn't remember if I needed it with this antenna. Small TV rotator. I bought a few of these. I mean, they can be a little bit unreliable. I bought a few of these 5 or so years ago, £50 a piece, and you know, they can be a little bit hit and miss in terms of how long they last, or how much, depending on how much sort of overhang loading you put on them. I've had to just grease this one up. It had a tendency to stick in the last 20 degrees of motion, so I couldn't get fully round to north. Anyway, we'll see how we get on with that. So that's the gear, 60 amp PSU, linear, which will go to 300 watts, but I'll be using that to 100 watts tonight. Daiwa power SWR meter, Yaesu 847, voice keyer if I need it, if there are quiet periods where I have to call CQ just to save my breath. Yeah, out of interest, I'm using quite a cheap COS headset. Can't quite remember the name, but if you're interested in knowing, sorry, the model, if you're interested in knowing, I can find that out and drop you a note. It's sort of a computer gaming headset, and I found it to be okay. I wanted to try a cheap method of keying the radio in through an adapter lead, which is here. So here we have a PTT switch which goes in. That's a foot switch which is on the floor. We have the microphone which goes in there, and then we have the headphone cable that comes out there. So I've got a headset with a boom mic on, and that makes life easier because tonight I'm going to be logging on a computer, which I do about 50% of the times. Often I log on paper. I find it quite a lot easier, really, just to leave an extra pair of hands free. I might also log in on the internet. I can connect this laptop to my mobile phone, hotspot it to my mobile phone, and get on one of the chat channels which allow scheduling of contacts, and you know, the potential to find new bonuses and so on. Although I tend not to agree with it, and I wish that we had an unassisted and an assisted section in this contest, but that's the way it is. I don't set the rules, although I do have a say in them, like everybody does. But it's been deemed that it's that the use of chat channels, ON4KST is the prime one, is okay to use. So that's the gear for tonight. What else have we got round the back here? You can see it's quite a bit of spaghetti, but I've done this so many times now, linking up. There are let's just get a little bit of light on here. And we got the power supply terminals. We've got the amplifier and the rig connected. Bit of spaghetti on the rig. Oh, I forgot to mention about the cat cable for cat control, which is in this case allowing the computer, the laptop computer, to control the rig's frequency and potentially other functions. I only use it for controlling its frequency and mode, if I want to switch and mess about on data systems and so on. So that's a system there. You can see the earth log, which goes back to the case on the voice key, just to stop any hum, and cable there. All of the cables that I'm using as patch leads are EchoFlex 10. I find that a good compromise on HF and up to 2 meters. I'm using a piece of quite an old piece of Westflex going up to the antenna, which isn't ideal. I normally use EchoFlex 15, but like I say, I wanted to have a lightish weight setup tonight without too much fuss. So hopefully I'll check in later with a bit of live contesting. The FM contest starts at 7 o'clock this evening, as does the machine generated modes contest, which primarily is FT8. Now I'll probably do half an hour of each and then go on to the SSB later. We'll see how things go anyway. So I'm going to get myself a bit of food to eat and get the heater on, and we'll be ready to go. So this is M1DDD Portable in the Derbyshire Dales in the Peak District, signing clear. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you get chance and you like my videos. Very dark out there, very misty, and toolboxes, cases, computer bag, place to sleep if I was going to stay out tonight. So that's it. So I'll get the heater on, get a bit of food on the go, and we'll be ready for contest time. Cheers for now. Bye bye.